such an outstanding, well-recognized institute as yours. Very happy, as I said, and I hope I can live up to the expectations. I have to say that my talk is a little bit pretentious. It sounds like how to get ahead in something, whatever is. In this case, it's about marketing. I'm a marketing guy. And my idea is to try to explain the importance of customer value management. This title is inspired in a previous film from 1989. It was directed by Robinson, and Rachel Ward was the main actress. And it's a farce about mental, unstable advertiser who suffers a nervous breakdown while making an ad for Peter. Because he never had one Peter, it's on that, so he didn't know how to manage to be able to entice and attract their audience. And I'm going to show you just for a minute the first few minutes, 1 minute of the film, if it works. Yes. So before I do present myself, I wanted to see the film. That's it. I'm not connected to the internet, so I am not able to show you at this very moment the movie. But you can do it yourself. It's easy. You go to YouTube. You put how to get ahead in advertising, and you see the first 2 minutes. Because this intro of the film is marvelous, because it's the way marketing was done in the 80s and 90s, and how was much more important to sell than anything else. Okay, that was the main goal for this advertising. Anyway, and he suffers, as I said, a nervous breakdown. And this reaction, this nervous breakdown, is like with those who are related in acquiring or retaining customers. That's the main goal of customer value management. That's why attract and retain, make them loyal if you prefer those customers. And companies need to stay ahead of their competitors in order to be competitive. They have to meet customer expectations, and they have to improve customer relations. That's the goal of customer relation management. And there are a guy that maybe sounds familiar to you, who is the CEO of a consultancy company in the States, that's IIMT. He is the founder of NPS. Rings you a bell, this acronym, NPS? No? None of you? It means Net Promoter Score. And it becomes very, very popular metric nowadays. Any company is using from a scale from 0 to 1 to 10, what is the likelihood you would recommend your product or service to a family friend. And probably you have bought something online, you will receive an email asking you about this. And it's a very, very important. It should be at the top of the hierarchy, not this NPS, but the customer lifetime value. And that's my goal, to explain how important is customer lifetime value. How can you use it to take decisions, to make decisions about what to do with your marketing value. Okay? And it goes beyond satisfaction, it goes beyond loyalty, and it's trying just to understand the value of your database of the customers. There are few companies today who will not agree that understanding that managing customer experience is vital to survive. we are going to talk about marketing experience as well. And defining customer value management is not that easy. That's clear. So maybe I can ask you, before I start my talk, what does it mean for you, customer value management? Do you have any idea of what could be customer value management? No. Let me give just an approach to this concept. Okay, leaving the question open so we can talk. Yeah, you want to go ahead.
Sir, customer, as we have read in marketing, customer is denoted as the king.
Is the king? Yeah.
So, maintaining the customer, like we have to maintain the customer in terms of what is their doing, how they are doing after that product or that service, whether that service is satisfying the customer's need or not. So, all those things are being collected and they intend towards the value creation.
That's a good
That
approach.
is why it is very difficult actually to maintain the customer value
Yeah.
nowadays. So there are different parameters that are being taken here right now.
I love very much your answer, but I miss one word that is basic to understand what the way it works customer value management.
So when we are trying to reach to the customer's expectation, because customer is having certain expectation
Yeah.
from any product or whenever he is buying. So when our company is trying to fulfill that expectation of the customer, at that moment we are trying to give value to the customer. We
Yeah.
are giving importance to the customer.
Yeah.
That is what I think about customer value.
Okay, thank you. That's a good definition as well. But the word and idea it means is that probably not all customers are equal. We are all different. And resources are scarce. So we cannot satisfy everyone. That's impossible. And it's not clever. Because there are customers that are very picky. And probably the costs to satisfy them are much higher than we can afford. So there is the word that means is those customers should be profitable. Unless they are profitable, there is no sense to try to do better with them. And that's the idea. The idea behind customer value management is to understand what is the value of each customer. Depending on its value, you can apply different resources to not just satisfy, but to make it work. Okay, so go forward. And just to introduce myself, yesterday I didn't do it in the presentation. I missed lots of things to say. I am a full professor of marketing at Complutense University. Professor Patty was impressed because we do have 85,000 students at the moment. And we have shrunk a lot because we were 120 a few years ago. That's the baby boom that has reduced the number of prospects. In the business school, where I am, we've got 4,500 students, more or less, at the moment. I remember in the 90s we were 15,000. That was amazing because we had classes overcrowded. Now we normally have a class of 50 to 60 students, no more, no less. I am the director of a research group that's called MARC, Marketing and Communication. That's the acronym. And we started in 2008. We are a group of professors, and we do have been recently ranked as one of the best research groups at Complutense, so quite proud about that, and that's why I share it. I am the director of a master's degree in video games. We have a collaboration with PlayStation, with Sony, for the last 8 years, and we do have this marketing master specifically on this market, video games. I was, because I am not anymore, the editor-in-chief of one of the inter science journals, actually International Journal of Internet Marketing and Advertising. I've been for 3 years chief, and before I was executive director, and before I was manager. So, but I'm still, of course, linked to this journal. I'm quite proud because it's beginning to be GCR this year. So we did well in terms of citation and attracting researchers, and now we are positioning ourselves in GCR. Very familiar with GCR, of course. No? It's I'm quite proud about what I have been doing for the last 7 years. I was the researcher or the principal researcher of a project called neuromarketing, how to standardize results using these devices. And we've been working on that for 7 years, as I said, and we have published a lot of things. It was very productive and very attractive at the same time, because we could go into the irrational decision making, how to do, instead of asking people using questionnaires or surveys or any other way of declarative technique. We were able to combine those techniques with EEG, electronic encephalogram, tracker, PCR, galvanic stimulus response. All together, we have the chance to get into these implicit measurements instead of explicit ones. Well, my interest encompasses tourism. I've published a lot about tourism, mainly in the past more than nowadays. Customer management, of course, and corporate social responsibility, marketing, and some other things. I do have something that is curiosity. I like to learn things, so I like to skip from one topic to another in order to have an open view instead of being very deep into one. Yes, that's my idea of knowledge, that you have to spread yourself into topics that you don't know in order to feel like you don't know nothing, because that's probably how I feel at this stage of my life. There are lots of things to learn still, and probably that I do know nothing about many things. That's it. So what else? Well, I'm a member of this board. This is a professional board in science analytics. It belongs to, maybe you're familiar with SOMAR. SOMAR is European Center for Opinion Market Research, a worldwide institution about market research. And I've been elected to be the vocal for academics in this board. And I'm quite proud about that, because I had the chance to meet the CEOs and other people from the industry on a regular basis. So that gives me another point of view about what's going on and how this geopolitical and economic upheaval is affecting our business, and especially the developing of technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain. So I think I'm in a position to understand how the professionals are challenging, and at the same time I have a chance to understand what are the challenges for academics. This is a position I am at this very moment. I have to say that I read my PhD, I said yesterday, 30 years ago. It's a long past. And it was about market information systems. You can imagine how much has changed. Information systems from the 80s, beginning of the 90s, until today, absolutely different. And the main difference is that instead of being product oriented, it's customer oriented. The same happened with marketing. So these two fields have come together and experimenting, changing incredibly in the last few years. I did say that you can, of course, interrupt me whenever you want, and that would be much fluid. The flow would be better if you do so. Okay, so this is the agenda I prepared. Maybe I'm going to skip the first few slides because I want to settle where is the realm of marketing, before we go through customer value management itself. And then we are going to try to understand how do we measure or what are the metrics that could be used in order to make decisions based on this philosophy, on this customer orientation. Okay. So before we move forward, just saying something that a guru in management said many years ago. Madariaga said there are only two basic functions at the company. One is innovation, of course, and there is marketing. What's marketing? Before I asked about customer value management, and probably some of your ideas were more on what marketing is, but I always ask this to my students when I begin the course, because of course everybody is in there, in marketing, especially the Z generation, because they are born in this, so for them it's something natural. That's my thought, but probably it's not. So what is marketing? There are a couple of professors here, specifically in marketing. You are one, no? Yes, you're a marketing professor. So maybe you can tell us what do you teach and how do you explain this to your students?
Sir, marketing, I would say it's an art, basically.
It's an art.
The art of understanding the customer, understanding the people, understanding the requirement. So once we start understanding the need and the requirement of the customer, of the people in large, then we design a product or a service accordingly.
Okay.
And after that designing it requires manufacturing, packaging. There are different parameters associated with that. And once we have the input to finished, then we have to deploy it to the customer. So that is another phase. But still marketing continues even after that, because if you are deploying the product to the customer is using the product, then even the marketing still continues. How? Because we have to check on whether the customer is satisfied or not. So customer is satisfied, good. But then if the customer is not satisfied, again you have to customize that product or that service. So marketing has got many stages, and it's basically it's an art, and we have to keep on understanding the views of our customer to keep a tie-up or keep a loyalty pair.
Of course, it's an art. But it's social science, no? And I want to defend that it's a science because we use the scientific method, no? And the goal, the objective, is of course scientific as well. So it's very good the way you have to define what marketing is. Students normally when I ask this, they could give you several points of view. Mainly, the very first thing they say is selling. Marketing is for selling. And that's the main goal of marketing. And probably they're right, but it's not only selling. They do say, no, this is advertising. It's about communicating values to your customers to meet those expectations, of course. Yeah, but it's not only communication. And it's you have to deliver the product to your customers in the correct way. Probably today is digital. That's the way you have to deliver your product and services. Of course, it's public relations, it's direct marketing, and so on and so forth. There are many ways to communicate with your customers. It's something about creation of leads. probably not. It's more about desires, about wants, rather than needs itself. No? And probably it's something about attracting customers. As mentioned before, it's about retaining customers. And if you think it over, probably you come up with the idea that it's all together. And with that basic complex, make it difficult sometimes to understand what we're doing. So, what is marketing? Okay, I will give you a definition of marketing provided by the American Marketing Association. Even though it's American, it's worldwide institution. This one was are the editors of Journal of Marketing and Journal of Marketing Research, the top two journals in our area. So it's a reputed source. And they normally say that it's a function, an organizational function, and set of processes of three main processes: creating value, communicating value, and delivering. So I mentioned it before. And what is the goal of marketing? Basically, the goal of marketing is benefit the organization and its stakeholders. Any kind of group of interest that could be influenced or can influence the value process. Okay? And in between, you see this customer relation management that I mentioned before. Okay, so marketing shapes consumer needs. That's that. I mean, it's something that we do from marketing, and it's based on these ideas that was mentioned before by your colleague. No? The needs, desires, demands, no, of people. Of course, marketing has become the beacon, no, the backbone of any organization, especially because it emphasizes the direction of the business. That's where we are going. That's the way we have to innovate. That's the way we have to meet expectations. We better understand how it's going to be evolving of our market in order to do it. I said this is the challenge of marketing: foresee how customer needs, wants, and expectations, purchasing decisions are within them. Okay. I'm not going to talk about the pandemic. That was my idea, but you better understand that all this onslaught of reality and the way that things have happened in the past few years put us in a difficult position now. Maybe you don't see the picture, but there is a surfer in the middle of the picture. This is a person who is trying to save the world, you know? And he knows that if he does it, he's going to have another wave after, and another wave, and another wave. And probably the shape of the wave is going to be different, not always the same. And that's the way I see marketing. We have to adapt ourselves to update, you know, our knowledge, the techniques, the research processes, all the time. Because what you know today is not going to be useful tomorrow. You have to try to adapt yourself. Animals, you know, especially those that last for centuries, no? They adapt themselves, and that's what we have to do with agility. No? Okay, so we don't have to feel overwhelmed, even though we feel overwhelmed. At least I do feel overwhelmed with this analysis tool, processes, techniques, because interpreting the business phenomena, implementing new marketing strategies, it's complicated. You know? Probably the success of a new startup, it's going to produce a flood of articles to how to do things differently. And a lot of unanswered questions. No? It's not easy to say how to react to those situations. But the thing is that you have to be well prepared, and you have to have your own resources to do so. But don't forget the principles. Don't forget the basics of the marketing discipline. And there are four important principles. These four are basic that all customers, just have to see that they have the same rhythm. All customers are different, I mentioned before. There are not two customers in there, no two. And even though each of us, we are different in different moments. The second principle is that we do change. And we change rapidly, as I mentioned earlier. All competitors are going to react to those changes. And you have to be fast. Otherwise, your competitive advantage is going to be gone by your competitor. Finally, I mentioned before as well, all resources are scarce. We cannot use any resource. I'm not talking about only money, raw materials, or time. I'm talking about any other resource you can imagine. They are limited. So you better move wisely with these four principles. Let me show you with these graphs how to understand how customers are today. Okay? They are not involved as they are in the picture. How could we classify customers today? Okay, you can segment your customers using many different types of criteria. No? You could use social demographics, you could use psychographics, you could use benefit sort. But probably the best would be today to use behavior, because we know perfectly well how do we behave, and we do it practically in time. So we know how we're behaving now, in this very moment. So we could classify our customers into four main, five, or 7, or even 10 if you want to use the seals. User behavior. And you will find out that your customers could be classified as platinum, gold, or VIP. There are different ways to call them. You've got silvers, you've got economy, you've got bronze. You can call it many ways. But probably you also have destructors of value. People that are not creating value, but destroying. You don't want to make them loyal. Probably you want to avoid them. You want them to be your competitors, not your retailers, because they are going to make a hole in your model lab. So you better think how different that is. And can you give me an example of someone who is a disruptor? Customer who is a disruptor?
So in a sense, every customer is a researcher.
Yeah, again? Sorry?
So in a sense, every customer is a researcher. Before buying a product, every customer undergoes the research where it will be better to buy, and from where it will be better to buy, and in what way it is better.
Okay.
So before buying every product, every customer undergoes the research.
Do you agree with that? Thank you. Do you agree with that? That before the customer, when a customer is a prospect, you could trust, you can be confident that it's going to be profitable, yeah?
So, basically,
Speak up, please.
Basically, if a customer is
Are you? This is what makes the noise. Go on. So you were saying.
so basically, if a customer is attached to a product, then if you go over a example of Philips.
Yes.
Philips is a very renowned music system company, but now it's producing trimmers and other stuff.
Yeah.
But if a customer is pretty much attached to that product, he is buying for like 5 years, 10 years, he's been continuously buying that product. So is that customer going to do the research why I'm if I go to other product or not?
Okay.
So basically, if customer is buying for the first time, please do the research to the product, to what type of product. it
Yeah,
is.
the probably is the same idea as you mentioned before. Can you use artificial intelligence or machine learning or to understand the patterns of your future customers before they become customers? So in order to avoid, to make the effort to attract customers that are not going to be profitable later on, that's magic, but that's the idea. The idea is to use your knowledge today in order to foresee what's going to happen tomorrow. And if you have the chance to understand that this customer is not going to be profitable, don't try to entice that customer. Try to go to another customer. And that's the philosophy underneath customer value. Based on your knowledge, try to create models to understand how it's going to behave your customer in the near future. Okay. So, what is worth the customer? What is going to become profitable? Because maybe the word profitable takes you to the idea that the benefits of the purchases are going to be higher than the costs. But that's not the only idea you have to have. There are more ways to be profitable besides purchasing. What else?
So like word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Very good. What else? Because word of mouth is when someone spread the idea, the satisfaction, using the online reviews or emails to the family and friends, or maybe when someone is an influencer and can attract other customers because they are going to be influenced by that. Okay, this is a way to be profitable. Maybe they don't change, but they are classically profitable as the others because they spread it to others. Who else is profitable besides word of mouth and purchases? Those who co-create with the business. There are people that are fun, lovers, as we call it today. They're going to devote their time and the resources for you. And they're going to solve customer frequent questions in communities, and they're going to do it by faith. And they're going to do it publicly because they are part of the community of the business. And maybe you've got customers who are going to create the next digital art for your company. And they do it for free. So you've got creators, and these are people are very, very, very profitable. So that's the idea, to increase the idea of what profitable means. And we do have, this is the basics of the theory. Basically, we do have customers who refer to others. Sometimes they do it one-to-one, not one-to-many, like word of mouth. They just use, remember the question I formulated, NPS, do you recommend this product to your family or friends? This is your close community. So this is very, very important. You don't do that if you don't trust the product. If you don't have had outstanding experience, unforgettable experience, then you are up to do this recommendation to us. Okay, so this is the idea of value customer management. Try to allocate resources to the profitable customers. Those who are going to give you something in return. You are offering value, but this has to be a trade-off. You have to get value from them. So this is a trade-off. This offset, this balance, is fair, no? Or not? What do you think about it? For instance, I came to you by plane, and the cost in carbon oxidate for the planes I took is high. I measured with some calculators, more than 5,000 CO impact to the ozone and to the atmosphere. What does it mean? That I have the chance as a customer, a sustainable customer to offset this impact. And this has a money cost. It costs 125 euros. That's the cost to offset the impact. So this is fair. Balance, no? You have to apply it in all your life, and probably that's what marketing tries to create this balance. Okay. Okay. There are many examples of that. For instance, in this recommendation to your friends and family, there is a type of marketing strategy that's very, very interesting. We call it member get member. Are you familiar, of course? So you get as customer, if you attract, if you bring another customer, you are going to be incentive, or you're going to have reward, and the new customer is going to have reward. Why is so clever this? It's very costly, but at the same time, you are making sure that these good customers are bringing another good customer, not any kind of customer. And probably they are going to become loyal for longer. They are going to be profitable, more profitable than any other customer that you have maybe attracted by Instagram or any other source. Okay? So this is a case, I didn't show, of American Express. Sorry, this is in Spanish, I thought it was in English, but this is a typical example of, do you recommend someone to bring it and to give you a reward? Or maybe like Starbucks, that's just to use an example, there are many others. No? How can we improve our encounter or your experience? How could we make your customer journey better? How can we be improving or innovating in this product? So bring it to us. You have space, and you will be rewarded as well because you are giving us good evidence. Okay? There are many, many examples about how CRM has become a fantastic tool, basic tool for pitching the product to the right customer, profitable one. Depends. Don't think that all goes to the elite, no, the goal. Of course, you have to make marketing plans for silvers. The goal would be to become those silver into gold, if possible. And maybe you just have to keep it there. The same with bronze, and the same with any other segment we are thinking about. And probably it's not just a matter to decide what is going to be your target, but also when is the best moment to do the contact, and what would be the message adapted to the situation. And probably the most important idea is the channel you are going to use to do the delivery. Okay, so this is the way we define basically what CRM is. I'm going to show you a video. This is an old video. I love this video. It's ideas. Okay. Oops. It's not connected in the sound. Can we have the sound today? I have forgotten to say that I wasn't going to do this. So everything is fine till now? Nothing new? Maybe my point of view gives you like questions? I hope yes? Are you joined up? Okay. Good. It's clear now. Facebook is. Let me check. YouTube is. Good. It's activated. Now, which one? Yeah. Is it good? That's good. Here we are. Okay. Let's see if it works. Okay, you woke up. Now we will. It's okay now?
Well, the people who buy that CDTs also buy 92% of the miniature vegetables we sell. Wow, look at the margins on miniature vegetables. How can you know that? Just make it up.
Okay, past 20 years, this but it's still, it's alive. Okay, you see these two merchants talking about these CDTs, that stinks, and suddenly this voice, of that's the boss, tells them that this cheese is bought by the people who buys other stuff, miniature vegetables. Look at the margins of these vegetables. Okay, what could happen to this company if these merchants have the chance to decide to remove this product from the shelf? What would be the consequences to this decision to take away this product from the shelves? What would you think?
So really that would be an answer.
It's because it's this kind of here. Sorry, I'm a little bit deaf.
So there is a probability that suddenly the market will go down
The marketing of what?
of the food.
Of the food. Well, that would be a direct consequence. That probably, if you don't sell the chickpeas, you won't sell the vegetables. No? Because they come together. They are bought together.
The
Okay.
related products also won't be sold if it is strong.
Okay, that's dramatic because you are having an impact on your bottom line. No? But that's not the worst thing that could happen. There is something worse. Much worse. That you lose the customer. Why? Because he or she is going to look for the product, not find it, going somewhere else, and probably they are not just going to change that product, maybe they change the whole cart. And next time, instead of go to that shop, they are going to go to another. So you have lost the customer for one minuscule decision to take away one product because it stinks. So you better understand how things roll. You are not there for products. The bottom line is for customers. So you have to be customer oriented. And your decisions should be in that direction. Maybe you are losing money with one product, but that's not the goal. You are recovering that with other products you are selling to the other customers. But really the deal will be to know how to manage your customer base instead of your product base. And sometimes this is difficult to understand because you believe that if your products are profitable, then your bottom line is going to be profitable, but that's not the case. Because products are going to be disappearing. Sooner or later, what's going to be always there are your customers. They're not going to change. I mean, they are changing because they evolve, but you are going to be always facing customers. Okay, this is basic. I know it's basic, but sometimes we forgot it. And I attend because, as I told you, I am I am the director of master in video games. Every day I was attending some of the projects of some students, and they forget completely. They don't talk about the customer word because they are more in their games and how it's going to be the action and the special effects and how it's going to be the music and how it's going to be the. That's not important. It is important, of course, but the most important is the gamer who is going to be behind that game. What are they expecting and how are they going to be ties with people? Okay? Sometimes, again, easy to say, easy to buy, difficult to implement. It's like a kick in your brain and try to understand that that's the way customer. Okay, and there is just the second and last because I mentioned before that life is experience. Okay, this is an ad from PricewaterhouseCoopers, belongs to IIMT. And well, I just wanted to share with you because probably that's what really is memorable, the experience. We remind things that makes feel us fine or good or well, and we want to be there all the time, especially the new generations. They are very experienced, and all their decisions are mainly based on how they make them feel, how are they going to feel. And feel is about emotions. It's not rational. That's why you need to use these devices to understand those feelings. Again, we come with the idea of using neuromarketing for your purposes in order to meet those feelings. Okay, if I were a teenager girl, target, you can, because it's, sorry, it's not good. Yeah. How do you actually talk? I need to make sure what this sound is
we think we have the same.
Nice music, no? Nice creativity, no? Yeah, no, I didn't like it. Why not? What is your opinion? Yeah. Yeah, sure. You were saying no.
No, I like it.
Okay. You like it. I thought you were saying no. The aesthetics, I think, it's everything about how you feel when you use this aircraft. Of course, nothing is said about how much you have to pay for it. And it costs 40,000 rupees, at least, even more. No? And it takes you, of course, to heaven, but you have to pay for it. So the point is, of course, this target to a specific group of people, but they are doing it very wisely, in the sense that they are transporting the people to the feelings. And the characteristics of the product are not said until the end, very quickly. But that's not important. No? See? Yeah, you were about to say.
So, while reading marketing, I came to the concept called experiential marketing.
Yes.
So, it is on basis of the experience of the customer.
Yeah.
They are co-creating the advertisements in such a way that it will touch base the customer's mindset in the way like that. They are created right now. That if you listen to that, I want to go into the universe. You will feel like you're somewhere which is divide. So that actually doesn't happen, but they are creating experience in the person like that.
No, but sometimes it happens. You are in a train, lots of noises, because people are with phones or that. You do the AirPods cancellation, noise and calm. Like magic. I don't know if you have experience with that. I mean, there are some things that you're going to meet that are true. Probably you're not going to fly in the universe, no, not that much. That's hyperbole, no, it's exaggeration. But it's true that sometimes you meet what they are saying. But I thought you were going to say it's very important to understand what are the touch points in this journey. And sometimes it's this ad, sometimes it's a display, sometimes an email, sometimes it's any other way of communicating the value proposition, depending on the stage and depending on the moment you are in. Okay, so these three examples is just to show you the importance of understanding how we decide, how we do make decisions. I'm going to speak this out. This is the typical structure of our needs, Maslow's, yes. Of course, we are going to have very different ways of acting depending where we live and our age and our living stage. And of course, we have to take into consideration all these things. That's what makes marketing complicated. That's, I never said it was easy. It's sometimes hard to establish how to decide what strategy it's going to reach your goals. Today we've got lots of communication on channels, and the idea is, as she mentioned, to influence the mindset of the customer's mindset, to persuade them, to entice them, to be there, to surprise them, because you cannot be saying the same things all the time. You have to be adapting your message to the way the customers are evolving. Okay. The thing is that humans are not very clever. We are very clever. And we don't take the best decisions we have to take. No? I don't know why, but we are like that. No? That's why marketing could be a helper, just providing some nudge to better wealth and well-being, no? Instead of doing the contrary. Sometimes they do because they know what are our weaknesses. No? This is a Nobel Prize in economy. His name is Richard Ayala. He wrote a book that I recommend you heavily. If you are in marketing, I mean, you are not in marketing. This book was written by Sustain, and they define nudge as a picture. Now you see the big elephant is pushing the small one. Basically, that's what a nudge is. It's a small manipulation of the choices people are facing with in daily life. So sometimes that there are boxes when you are navigating on internet that already checked for you, or maybe you've got snacks for sales in the checkout aisle when you are going to pay the counter. So the thing that is behind this is how do we create the choice architecture? For good or for bad? For you. And that's probably something that is on our side, on our side. You could do good things and push them to do, I don't know, to slow traffic. Here you go and you got these pumps because you need them to slow the traffic, otherwise you're going to have accidents all the time. Or you have something painted in the floor that makes you reduce the velocity. Or maybe you are going to encourage healthy eating. You can do that. There is no difference. Of course, you can do the contrary. Or maybe you can do greenwashing. It looks like you are promoting healthy eating, but your product is even worse than the night before because you substitute the sugar with something that is aspartame that is even worse for the health. I mean, there are many ways to understand how nudges could be. This happens with climate change, for instance. Do you think we're going to buy to win this battle of climate change with nitrogen? This question was related to him, to Tal, and his answer is wise. He has wise answers. I'm going to tell you in a minute. You know what he did say when somebody, a journalist, asked him, how are you going to spend the money you earn with this Nobel Prize, $1 million? And he said, well, I'm going to spend it irrationally, as everybody does. You have heard, of course, lots of stories of people who have won in the lottery that they ruined their lives. Maybe they have money for 5 years, and after that they were broken because you don't know what to do with this. That's something that you are not able to imagine how you want to do. So, for the question of climate change, Tara says, if something is free, people consume too much. No, climate. Just go to a wedding with an dog. That was his wise answer. And I agree with you. Sometimes you better ban things, you better put coercive, what's the word? Coercive decisions, thank you so much, in order to avoid people to do things that you don't want them to do. So sometimes you have to be condescending, sometimes you have to be hard, to understand. Make them understand the importance of things. That happens with the COVID calculation. You know, we need the herd immunity, and sometimes we arrive or achieve this goal because people didn't want to by some reasons. Anyway, I go beyond that. This is the scheme of Mark, and probably this is the last slide I use for this was. And we can move on. I love this scheme because it gives you the chance to understand what we do in marketing in one slide. On blue, you've got all the things that are done by the companies. First, understanding consumer needs and wants and so ever, and then building profitable relationship with them. This is 4 bullets, we call that. But then, quite interesting in the red. The red one is showing us the compensation for this. Companies are going to capture. They create, communicate, deliver value because they want to capture value from the customer. So it's about the positions. You create